Welcome, dear listeners, to another journey through the lives of extraordinary leaders. Today we begin a story that starts not in the halls of power, but in the quiet streets of Nagato, Japan. A story of ambition, resilience, and the heartbeat of Nippon itself. Shinzo Abe was born on September 21, 1954, into a family that carried the weight of political legacy. His grandfather, Nobusuke Kishi, had once held the position of prime minister, and his father, Shintaro Abe, was a prominent diplomat. Politics, it seemed, flowed through his veins like the rivers that crisscrossed his hometown. Yet young Shinzo was more than a name tied to history. He was a boy with wide eyes, curious, and quietly determined. From the beginning, life taught him lessons that were both gentle and stern. At Seikei Elementary School, he was noted for his intelligence, but he was also shy, introspective, and sometimes lonely. Fellow students whispered about his quiet demeanor, unaware that beneath that calm exterior lay a fire of ambition. He often spent afternoons reading political biographies and histories, flipping the worn pages with reverence, imagining the great leaders of the world, and wondering what path he would carve for himself. Yet the path was not smooth. During his teenage years at Seikei High School, Abe faced health challenges that tested his resolve. A bout of illness kept him away from school for months, and he felt the pang of isolation. His friends played outside, climbed trees, and laughed in the summer sun while he lay indoors, clutching a book, whispering to himself, "Ganbatte, I must endure, I must rise." Even at this tender age, he began to understand the Japanese notion of perseverance, gamen, the quiet, unwavering patience that shapes character. It was also a time of reflection about identity and purpose. Abe felt the weight of expectation from his family's prominent history. Nobusuke Kishi's shadow loomed large, a man both respected and controversial in post-war Japan. Young Shinzo wrestled with questions of morality and duty. Could he honor his family's legacy while forging his own path? The answer, he would quietly decide, lay not in imitation, but in learning, observing, and ultimately leading with his own vision. As high school years unfolded, he became known among his peers for his intellect and poise. Debate and discussion became his sanctuary. The subjects of governance, diplomacy, and Japan's place in the world captivated him. He studied political science at Seikei University, but it was in his extracurricular discussions, late-night study groups, and quiet walks in the school gardens that his understanding deepened. Here, Shinzo nurtured not only knowledge, but the spirit of a leader, the patience to listen, the courage to challenge, and the humility to learn from both success and failure. But life had more challenges awaiting him. While other young men dreamed of carefree adventures, Shinzo faced the early turbulence of political responsibility. Observing his father Shintaro Abe's work in diplomacy, he saw both the thrill and the burden of leadership. Every decision mattered, every word carried weight, and the responsibility to his country was immense. He learned that leadership was not merely about power, but about service, the quiet, steadfast dedication to people, to culture, to the land that nurtured him. In these early years, the seed of his vision for Japan began to grow. He imagined a nation that was proud, resilient, and confident on the global stage. Yet he also learned humility. True leadership, he realized, begins not with ambition alone, but with understanding, empathy, and the ability to endure challenges without losing sight of the greater purpose. And so, in the quiet streets of Nagato, amid the gentle sway of cherry blossoms and the distant hum of Shinkansen trains, the young Shinzo Abe dreamed. He dreamed of Japan, a Nippon that could reconcile tradition with modernity, honor the past while embracing the future. And he dreamed of himself, not merely as a son of a political dynasty, but as a man who would someday stand, resolute, ready to guide his people with courage, wisdom, and an unwavering heart. Stay with us, dear listeners, as the journey continues. In the next episode, we will witness Shinzo Abe stepping on to the first real stage of his political life, the trials, triumphs, and tribulations that would shape the man who would come to define modern Japan.